Welcome! This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, this is my 10 essential tips guide for Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Many of you watching this are probably playing Virtua Fighter 5 for the first time ever, and many more, well, you probably just need a little bit of a refresher because it's been a while. So that's what this video is here for, just to help you get your feet on the ground when it comes to the game. That all said, here's our first tip. So Virtua Fighter is a 3D fighter. Obviously you have full 3D movement, and like many 3D fighters, the attacks come in 3 flavors. You have highs, you have mids, and you have lows. Now if you are coming from, say, a 2D fighting background, like say Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighters, or whatever, one of the biggest things you have to wrap your head around is this: you don't default to down back crouching. Like when you block, don't crouch block unless you have to. Generally speaking, you always want to stand block. Why is this? Highs tend to be the fastest attacks in the game, generally speaking, right? But the big flaw of the high is, well, you can just duck under it. So, okay, that's a plus sign for ducking. So why don't I want to duck again? Well, the mids. The thing is, a lot of the best attacks in the game are all mids, and you cannot duck a mid. Now you can see here the enemy is set to crouch, and no matter what, my highs, they ain't doing anything, right? But as soon as I go for a mid, it's gonna bonk them. And you can block all you want while you're crouching. It won't matter. Mids always defeat crouching. And since so many of the attacks in the game that are good are mids, this is why you don't want to crouch block too much, because you'll get domed in the head by a knee or an elbow. And lows, well, lows are lows, right? So those you do have to crouch block. However, a lot of lows tend to be slow for what they are. And most lows in this game, unless they knock you down, they are specifically negative on hit. So even if you hit the enemy, you lose your turn. So for a lot of characters, they want to use lows to like sneak out a win, get that last little bit of health. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about it. That's why you stand block most of the time, because lows are slow and risky. So you just generally just react to them if you smell them out, but you want to stand block most of the time. Our second tip is please, please, please pay attention to the stage. Stages are not just for show. The stage you're on has a massive outcome on what the fight will be. Whether it has high walls, low walls, no walls, the general size of the stage, because some stages can be quite short. Some stages can be odd shapes, like a Palace and Deep Mountain, where you can get ringed out really fast, or just get destroyed against the walls, right? The stage choice matters a lot. Like say you're in this position here on this specific stage. Okay, well, it's a low wall, so Wolf, if he has the advantage, he can just like atomic DDT you from the low wall, which is cool enough. Or, you know, that's if he's being generous. Because if he's not feeling generous, well, guess what? He can just instant kill you from this position and just fling you over the wall, right? The wall didn't save you from getting ringed out against Wolf. So these are the kind of things you need to know. And don't think you're going to outsmart it. Well, you just gave 2 throw examples, right? So I'll just duck under those nasty throws. I'm fine. Well, the thing is, against being against the wall here is wall combos. So yeah, that's a lot of damage to eat just because you thought you were really smart and wanted to duck under a throw, right? So pay attention to the stage, and especially whoever you are, pay attention when your back's against the wall, because it's definitely a place you don't want to be. Our next tip as a follow-up on stages is watch the end of the ring. Unlike a lot of other 3D fighters that have ring outs, there is 0 protection for you when it comes to ring outs. If you walk over the edge, or if a move puts you over the edge or anything, you are gonna fall over. Simple as that. Now it's great for combos like, oh man, I launched you, and you know, I got the ring out sick. But you can easily ring yourself out if you're not paying attention. This exact same scenario here, right? I'm just mashing buttons. Oh, I hit the ground first, so I lost. So once again, there's 0 protection for you. So don't get overzealous following people out of the ring, because the ring out happens simply to whoever hits the ground first. So in this scenario, me as Taka, I would be the one getting ringed out. So just really pay attention to that. Also, with ring out stuff in mind, when it comes to like say throws or something, don't pick the throw that does the most damage. Like right here, this throw here for Taka, half circle forward and throw, does more damage than forward throw. But forward throw, well, it gives you a lot of that distance you need to move them forward to get them ringed out. So ring outs are instant kills. Think of them that way, an instant kill, a fatality, if you will, right? So when you're going for the ring out, don't worry about what's most optimal for damage. Worry what just pushes them out of the ring the fastest, because that's really what it's all about. So let's talk throws. Throws are a huge part of the game. And I'm not talking like the big dramatic things like the Burning Hammer, which does like almost 50% damage. I'm talking your regular old basic throw, all that. Every character wants to throw. There are characters that like throws more than others, sure, but throws are an integral part of the game. Why? A throw is the fastest attack in the game. So a lot of characters, like their stand jab is their fastest attack, and that's 12 frames. A couple lucky characters have 11 frame jabs, but throws are 10 frames. They're simply faster than everything else. It doesn't matter if it's the most basic throw or something crazy like the F5. All the throws, with a couple exceptions, start up in 10 frames, making them the fastest attacks. And, you know, a single jab does this much, an F5 does this much, right, as you're about to see. So they're weighted pretty heavily. So in this specific situation I'm going to show you, I'm going to hit back, kick, guard, which gives this boot here. And for Wolf, if he gets this boot off, it's a pretty big reward, because it transitions to a special throw for him. And from that special throw, you get a lot of options, and they can hurt pretty bad. So pretty low risk considering what it is, but it's -10 on block. So as you can see here, so if it gets blocked, I don't get no fancy suplex or whatever, right? But it's -10, which means the enemy can guarantee a throw check on me. As once again, all throws are 10 frames. So I'm going to try to duck as soon as I do this move. Didn't work. I get thrown. Trying to duck here, not working. It's just, since it's -10 and throws are the fastest attacks, that's all there is to it. Now, if he were set to retaliate with like a jab, boom, duck that, no problem, right? Because jabs are slower than throws. So in a lot of situations, you can't get nothing guaranteed except for a throw. So just keep that in mind. No matter who you're playing, in the end, the throw is generally your fastest attack. Now, as a direct follow-up from our last section, let's talk about defeating throws. Because the thing about throws is twofold. One, any attack beats them, with rare exceptions. And two, being able to tech a throw in this game doesn't have to be a reaction check. Now, you can reaction tech throws, yes, but it's more a knowledge check than anything else. So the scenario is the same as it was before. The bot, after he blocks, will try to throw me. But if I just keep attacking, he cannot throw me. Because the thing is, you cannot throw someone who is actively attacking. Doesn't matter if I'm in the first frame of animation and you're on the last frame of the throw or whatever. Like, just as long as someone's attacking and hitting buttons, you cannot chuck them. That is simple as that. Even if it's a big slow attack like those kicks. So same here. After a basic jab, you have frame advantage, right? And my throw is faster than Jeffrey's jab, but no matter what, I am not going to throw him. Like, it just is not in the paper. The only exception is what we call catch throws. So Jeffrey's going to be throwing a bunch of elbows here, and normally if I try to throw him between these elbows here, like, it's just not going to work, right? I can't throw him while he's attacking, except with the catch throw. So if I block the first one here and go immediately for a catch throw, I get him. So these throws can catch and throw people in the middle of an attack animation. However, these kind of throws, well, they're very rare. Like, let's put it that way, right? Only a couple people in the game have them, so it's not something you have to worry about too much. Now, about just auto-teching throws, because yes, you can reaction tech throws if you want to, but why make it hard on yourself, right? So if you guard, all you have to do is hold punch in any direction of your choosing of back, neutral, as in no direction, or forward. All throws in the game follow one of these directions. Back throws, neutral throws, or forward throw. Like, if I'm Wolf here, that's my neutral throw. This is my forward throw. This is my back throw. But also, this is one of my forward throws too, right? So it just falls under those categories. That's a forward throw. Giant swing is also a forward throw. But all those three forward throws I've shown you, if I were to hold guard, hit punch, and hit forward, it'll tech all three of them all the time. Like right here, Jeffrey is doing his backbreaker throw. That is a forward throw. So all I have to do is hold guard, hold punch, hold forward, and guess what? He'll never be able to throw me ever again. That's it. End of the story. So I'm still blocking highs and mids while I'm doing this because I'm guarding, right? But I'm also passively teching all forward throws. And this is a pretty big thing because a lot of characters have their preferred throws in certain situations. And if you know what that preferred throw is, then you can just automatically tech it while you are guarding. Now, this is a big part of the guessing game because then, you know, okay, if you're going to tech forward throw, then I'll just do something else. And then you got to, oh, I tried to hold back tech. Turns out he went for forward throw again after the millionth try, right? And it's not going to work. So here's an example. Jeffrey, if your back's to a low wall, if he back throws you, he just rings you out. That's it. Game over. You're dead. Doesn't matter how much life you had left, right? That's the end of the story. So in this scenario, his most deadly option is absolutely his back throw. So what I want to do then is hold guard, punch, and hold back, and then I will tech that way. So no matter what, he won't be able to throw me at that back throw. Now, he could hit me with that deadly backbreaker we showed earlier, right? But I won't be instant killed at the very least. So a lot of people have very specific throws based off of very specific situations, and you gotta know which ones those are. Like for the character I'm using right now, Wolf. All things being equal, you always want to tech forward throw. Why? Well, his forward basic throw, that's the fastest move in the game. His giant swing is a forward throw, and that'll ring you out from pretty far away. So in a lot of situations, this move is basically an instant kill. So that's already pretty scary. And he has the Burning Hammer, which is the single most damaging move in the game. And all three of these moves, all three of these options are all forward throw. So if you just hit guard, punch, forward, and just do that while you're blocking, you'll automatically tech any version of that. Now, yes, you might eat like an F5 instead. Well, that's the price of doing business because at least the F5 doesn't do as much damage as the Burning Hammer and all these other options, right? So know the character you're playing against and just be aware of what throw options they have. All right, now since so many of the things I'm showing you here in this video rely on training mode, hey, use training mode. It's very helpful. It gives you a lot of options, not the least of which, hey, we got frame data in a 3D fighting game and you don't even have to pay for it. What a novel concept, right? And the frame data indicators are very helpful. So say the enemy is guarding. Now you have your frame data on here. You can learn a lot of core concepts of the game. A basic standing jab is always plus on block. Something like a PK, a little bit negative, but that's fine. And then you get the certain attacks which are a lot more negative on block. So say I go for PPK. Oh, now it's flashing yellow. That's not a good thing to flash, right? So yellow is, okay, you're getting into bad territory. You're getting decently punished here. A lot of characters can either just get a good hit check on you or even a soft launch into a small combo starting at 16 frames, right? So it's telling you basically, hey, this is danger territory, watch out. Something that say orange here, like -18, you're definitely in full launch territory. Like they'll get to launch you and do whatever they want. Like that is dangerously negative. Say it's green. So green means they can throw check you, -10, right? Throws are 10 frames. So they can throw check you, but you still have the option to detect the throw no matter what it is. So if you guess wrong, you'll take the throw, but you still have a chance to take no damage at the very least. And so on and so forth. Green, you're pretty all right. Yellow, yeah, you're probably going to take a little damage. And orange, you're going to be eating it real bad, right? These are the things you know. And of course, it tells you exactly how much execution all your moves are, right? So 12 frames for a punch and kick together, that's 16 frames. If I want to do something like here, this is a up forward kick for Vanessa, 29 frames, very slow, right? But it's a mid and it goes over low, so there you go. All the information you can want is here. And also, there's a lot more kinds of information. Just here is the frame data, right? So we have detailed stats, we have a command display, so it just shows you what buttons and directions you're pressing. We also have input display, which is very handy, because it shows you all the directions, all that kind of stuff, but it also shows you for exactly how many frames. So if I'm holding down here, all right, I held down for exactly 79 frames. If I hit punch, all right, 1 frame, but if I hold it a bit, oh, okay, that was an 11 frame punch. I held the button for that long. There is zero question how long you press something or how long you held the direction or whatever, right? There's no fooling around. This game shows you everything down to the exact frame detail. This is an older game. This is a remake of an older game, yes, and this is how it was back in the day. So Virtua Fighter 5 was way ahead of its peers all the way back in like 2006, to say the least, right? So yeah, all this data here is at your command. However you want to make it work for you, because all the knowledge is at your fingertips. Now let's talk an important concept here in Virtua Fighter, the weight system. So characters, they're bigger or smaller than each other, sure, but how big they are determines how high they get launched for combos. A character like Eileen is on the lowest end of the scale. She's a super lightweight, whereas someone like Taka is on the heaviest end of the scale. He's a super heavyweight, and everyone falls in between. So like someone like Wolf, the wrestler, he's a regular heavyweight, although not as heavy as Taka. And someone like Sarah is a lightweight, but not quite as light as Eileen is. So let's show some combo examples. So Vanessa, offensive stance, and up forward kick, which is a launcher, right? Now here's an example that works on everyone but Taka, because Taka's special. And let's see how this goes. Alright, not bad. 70 damage. That's actually pretty respectable, all things being told. But now since we have Eileen here, and Eileen weighing less, we can launch her higher. So that's 94 damage. That's a lot more, right? So basically, if you want to think of it this way, because health is kind of standard across the board, but being a lighter character equates to effectively less health, as you can get more and more damaging combos. Now, if you're newer, it definitely will behoove you to like learn just your character general combos, like stuff that'll work on the majority of the cast. Don't gotta worry about the weight stuff. But once you get more and more into the game, basically it behooves you to learn to pick on the lighter characters. Generally, the heavier you are, the more health you are, and Ataka's exception. He gets a lot of protections because not only is he the heaviest character, certain moves don't even work the same way against him. However, that can be a double-edged sword. So now we got Eileen again, we got Wolf. So Wolf, forward punch, punch and kick together. It's a natural combo, that's fine, but like you don't get anything off of it, right? It knocks you back, and so he can follow up and like do whatever pressure, but like there's no combo unless somehow you hit a wall. Now Taka, since Taka's a big boy and he has his own special launch rules, he doesn't get blown back like everyone else does. He only barely leaves the ground, but the problem is he barely leaves the ground with enough space for Wolf to hit him. So now what was originally just 39 damage, which is certainly respectable, it's not bad at all of a sudden now becomes a true combo. All of a sudden, yeah, that's 65 damage, right? Like, this is not a true combo on anyone else in the game but Taka. So Taka's very strong defensive property actually works against him in this situation. So just keep that in mind, right? In Taka's situation, it's almost all benefit, but in certain situations, it's not. So it's not always the best to be the heaviest character in the game. The next tip is really understand your character. Specifically, every character, almost every character, is just rotten with mini stances. Just little things they can do where they get a new move set. So here we got Jeffrey and Jackie as examples. So Jeffrey, a bit more obvious, he has the threat stance. And from the threat stance, he has entirely new moves that he can't do anywhere else but the threat stance. Be it basic strikes, kicks, punches, a lot of hit throws as well. These are all only possible in the threat stance. He also has a lot of ways to turn his strengths into going into the threat stance. So that's just a good portion of his offense you should know. Same deal here with Jackie. He has the side shuffle. And you can enter that manually, like back punch, kick, guard, sure, whatever. And as you can see here, it's got quite a bit of moves. It's certainly not lacking for moves or content. So a big portion of his offense is in here. And from a lot of your strings, like if I go down back punch, which is a low, and if I just hit back right afterwards, it automatically puts me in that stance. So now I have all the moves available from that stance available to me. Where otherwise, if I just did nothing, then I just return to normal. Just make sure you go command list here in training mode. Check every character because almost everyone has a little something extra just besides their basic moves, right? Just a little stance to work with. It could only be like 3 or 4 moves, and in some characters' cases like Vanessa, it's like 100 moves, right? But yeah, the stances in this game are a big part of the game, so make the most of it. Now, to explain a concept here, the concept of the sabaki, which is a kind of attack that eats other attacks. If you're not familiar with the game, when you see these for the first time, you're probably going to be confused, like, why did this just blow through my attack? It's not like super armor or anything like in another fighting game, right? But a lot of characters have attacks that are specifically designed just, beat punches elbows, all that kind of stuff, get around throws. These are sabakis. So I'll show you 2 examples here. Vanessa's back forward kick in defensive stance specifically, and back forward punch and kick in defensive stance. These are both pretty slow moves. And I'm going to have Sarah do her just basic elbow, which is a lot faster, and I'm going to blow through the elbow despite having much slower moves. So you can see right there, despite the fact that my move is so much slower and the move is already about to hit, my move wins because it's Sabaki's elbows, right? So that's kind of the thing here. So certain kind of moves can eat other kinds of moves. That's in essence of what a sabaki is. So just pay attention, go to virtualfighter.com, go to the character section so you can see which moves have what, right? But yeah, this is an important concept to learn. Not every character has these, right? And they're very specific. They're usually tailor-made to like beat. Like this one here, back forward kick for Vanessa, is tailor-made to beat stuff like elbow-based attacks and all that. But yeah, it's very important to know these kind of attacks exist. The other move I mentioned here, back forward punch kick, it's Sabaki's kick attacks. So if I were to do this here right as the attack comes, I just blow the kick away and just smack him. You can actually see part of the animation is like her doing a little bit of a deflect. Some of these have a little bit of a tell. And they're not infallible. You have to do it in the right window, otherwise it will not work. But yeah, that's generally the gist here. Is just a lot of attacks just eat other attacks, for lack of a better term, as long as you time it correctly, right? But yeah, that is the essence of the sabaki in a nutshell. And our final tip, just to help with like cleaner combos and stuff, whenever you hit guard, after any move, it cleans the input buffer. So if you want to like launch the enemy here, and instead of getting like the big attack string, say you just want it punch, 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 like the base punch, right? All you have to do each time is hit guard in between each punch, and it'll work. So say here normally, I try to launch the enemy, but like I can't stagger it good, like it just winds up being part of the string, right? Every time I hit guard instead, it'll just come out as the punch instead. It'll wipe out the buffer before it, so it won't keep like the other punches in mind, so it won't try to do the chain punches combo. Now for Taka here, this is like hardly an optimal combo, right? But if you're just looking for the cleanest possible inputs without like accidentally getting multiple hit strings or whatever, just make sure to hit guard every time and it wipes out everything before it, and you just start fresh, making a lot combos that could be a little bit difficult a lot easier to manage. And that is the video. So there's so much in depth in Virtua Fighter. This is literally just covering the most basic stuff. But that said, I hope it has helped you out. There's so much to learn. This game is a very fun game, so I hope you have a lot of fun with it. That all said, friends, that's the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Virtua Fighter.